to meet up. I mean, we've had some possibilities, but there were so many people sick this first quarter. And thinking back, I wonder if some of these people didn't have the virus going around now because they were that sick. Do you remember?
Well, and that's the whole thing. That's one of the reasons why I didn't go to Chicago. When my guy didn't come to Miami for Super Bowl weekend, I knew something was wrong, but I've kind of known this. I've known this since July. But my whole thing was I wanted to see how everything was going to fold. And I knew we had to get through December and January. And then we did, because it could have been at the end of the year for us, believe it or not. And then it kind of held up. And then I saw it unfolding as I was traveling, because think about this. I was at the CES show, Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, January 4th through the 11th. And so it's only 4 days, but I'm there for media. So I was there for actually 7 days. And then after that, like a day and a half, I had the NAMM convention in Anaheim, the big, huge music convention. And Linda, no matter where I went, it was freezing. And for me to be cold, I was like, wow, that told me a lot, because what happens is, and this is the correct terminology, viruses don't like cold weather. People keep saying they can survive, they like warm weather. No, they don't like cold weather. Think of going to airports. Think of going to the movie theater. Think of going to the hospital. That's why it's always cold. So as the warm weather is coming up, when it was in Australia and all over there, every place else, it was warm weather. So we really haven't had a really warm, a cold winter. And you would know in Chicago, your winter wasn't too cold, was it?
It wasn't awful. It wasn't awful. You know, winters in Chicago tend to be, they are typically a little bit colder than it was this year. We didn't have too many days below freezing and too many days below zero. So yeah, you're right.
And that's the whole thing because of climate change, whether people believe it or not. But if you look at the canals in Italy, if you look at the weather, I mean, the sky in Los Angeles, the sky in Vegas, it's pretty clear because no pollution. So 50% of it is man-made. That's just the fact. You can go outside and see it for yourself, whether people believe in it or not. But around the world, you're seeing different things, and that's the whole thing.
Right.
Did you get your fans on?
Fans are on. We have people both on Facebook. So I have a few people watching, and my comments are sideways. So I'm sorry that I'm going to be going like this. I have Mark Froman, Kelly Zach on. I have Roseanne on. These are either current clients of mine or they are friends of mine from way back when. And I have on Twitter, Bridge said something about I can't open up something, but I didn't get to read it. And I'm sorry, I'm like facing Brian because I don't want to be rude, but at the same time, I want to see the comments that are coming through. We're going to make sure that we leave time for some questions and answers too after this, guys. So please stay.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start this now.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
That was our intro, Bug, you go.
2, 1.
I have Roseanne and clients of mine, or they are friends of mine from way back when. And I have.
Okay, here we go. It's Brian Sebastian. Movie Reviews and More, the Women's Broadcast TV Network, otherwise known as Worldwide TV Network, or WomenOnTV.tv, iTube 247. Here, I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. I split my time between Las Vegas and Los Angeles. I come to Las Vegas just to work. So I've been in the house by myself since September 23rd, right up until today, because I kind of knew what everything was going. So I wanted to say all that stuff because on the other end, and I never get a chance to do Zoom because I didn't like it or anything, but now this is the new world that we've entered into, I call her world renowned, and she is world renowned in my view because of the stuff that she's done, is none other than Linda Steele, all the way from Chicago. I feel like you're kind of here even though you're not here.
I feel like I'm with you. I always feel like that with you, Brian. We have a great connection, whether it be via text, via phone, whatever. And usually you and I are both running like crazy. How often when you call, do I answer the phone? Brian, I have 3 minutes. What you got? And you know, sometimes you'll leave a message and just leave me a ton of details because that's the only 2 minutes you have. And that's the time you have to give me information. We're very informational.
Well, and that's the whole thing about that, because I've been reaching out to a lot of my friends pretty much since mid-January, all my hosts now, because I have 10 co-hosts. And I include Linda in this because of the format and all the things that she does. So I'm not going to go into me yet. Linda, let's go into you, because we were supposed to get together kind of starting last year and things started to change. But then again, when you came into Los Angeles, you were going on a cruise. Let's talk about that before you get to London. Talk about that cruise. Because guess what's going on with cruise ships? What did I tell you last year when I was working on Norwegian cruises, right?
Yep. This is so weird. Like we got back from our cruise and things just went crazy. And that's when things started really going downhill for the public. And, you know, people getting stuck on their cruise ships, and some people who've never been on a cruise would be like, whoa, you know, that doesn't sound like so bad, stuck on a cruise ship. But I mean, I know what I felt like even after, you know, a 5-day cruise. I've been on 5-day and 7-day cruises. I want to go home. You know, the food, eating the same food every day is, you know, a little monotonous, and the same steel drum band music at the pool, it could get a little monotonous. It's great. It's a great vacation, but to get stuck on a cruise ship, these poor people for weeks on end, and some of them couldn't even leave their rooms. But yeah, I was fortunate enough to come and see you prior to boarding my cruise ship, and that was such a great meeting. It was very memorable.
And the whole thing after that, when you got off the cruise, you went back to Chicago and then you went to London, right? The UK, is that right?
I did. I got back. Actually, I think flip that around. I have to think back. I went to London before Thanksgiving. So I went, that was a crazy travel day. I went from Chicago to Dallas because on Thanksgiving Day, I went to a Dallas Cowboys football game, which was definitely on my bucket list. And I flew home the very next morning, first thing in the morning, and then that afternoon jumped on a flight to London. So, and that was Thanksgiving weekend that I did that. And then I went on my cruise in early December.
Wow. So when did you get to the UK? Talk about as soon as you landed, and then you were going to do an interview, right?
It was such a crazy week there. I think I was there 5 days. Stuart from UK Health Radio, he picked me up from the airport. What a nice man. I mean, he did not leave my side the whole time I was there. He was so good at making sure that I was safe and got from point A to point B everywhere I needed to be. So I was with Stuart. I believe it was about 9 a.m. when I got there. So we immediately went into my hotel. We had breakfast at my hotel. We started on what my future was going to be, my vision. He wants me to join get on the speaking circuit for wellness. And so we talked about, yes, it's going to be really cool. So we talked about a book that I'm going to be in the middle of writing. Well, I've started it, but he wants my book out by fall. Thank you. Thank you. And now is the perfect time for me to be home because I'm trying to spend a little bit of time with it. So book, we talked about the book.
It's not easy for you.
No, you know, because the book, I went into this, when I flew to London, the whole time on my way there, I thought we were doing a cookbook. And when I got there and he put me in front of the publisher, Chris Day had an amazing revelation. He said, he was talking about this book, and I kept thinking cookbook, but the direction he was going didn't sound like a cookbook. And I finally asked him, can you be a little bit more specific on what you're looking for with this book? And he said, I want a book about you, your life, the obstacles you've had to overcome in order to you know, continue to be successful and continue to thrive. You're in fabulous shape. You know, how do you do it? A lot of people can't do this. They can't run a business. They can't stay in shape. They can't raise a family. They can't do all of these things at once and do them all well. And he knows a lot of the obstacles that I've had to overcome in life, which, you know, most people do. Life isn't easy to most people. So, but how do you do that? How do you overcome these obstacles and still become successful? So I was really shocked when he came up with, I was like, oh, I had no idea my life was that interesting, but okay, we're going to go with that.
News alert, you are very interesting. Ask any of your fans.
Thank you. You're sweet. So, so what he said, I think that the perfect name for this book will be Nerves of Steel. And I
that's a
went,
good one. I like that.
yeah. I said, yeah, that's it. That is it. You nailed it. And from that point on, after that meeting with the publisher, Stuart and I were brainstorming and figuring out what's the first step, what's the second step, what do we need to do? By the very next morning, Stuart had me lined up with Integrity Magazine writing articles for them, which is a London-based magazine, and they do both online and print. And so that was really cool. That was another thing that I hadn't expected. So went from, getting a kind of a timeline as to what my future is and things that I want for it, and met with a publisher who completely changed directions in a book that's going to be coming out, and started writing for a new magazine. And just when I thought that my trip couldn't go any better, I met with AJ Joshi from Fit.live, who wanted me to start broadcasting for them again. And today was the very first broadcast that we did with viewers. So, it really came just in time because of the what's going on with the industry. Gyms are shut down, and so essentially I'm out of work. So it just so happened that Fit.live was ready to roll on their platform. But this had been in the works for the last few months, but the timing was just right. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at now. I'm assisting with Fit.live.
And so if you just joined us right now, this is Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, the Women's Broadcast TV Network, ITT47. We're talking to Linda Steele out of Chicago, and we're working on many different platforms. So Instagram Live, Facebook Live. She's doing her Twitter. Are you doing Twitch too? Because I don't even know. And then plus I have a White Owl, which is a 360-degree new telecommunications that I got. So we're doing many things. And over here, I don't know, Linda, if you can see this, but it's also my Luma charge. She's over here, Luma. She's sleeping right now, but she'll be talking to me pretty soon. So there's many different things that we're talking about. So it's actually quite interesting.
Isn't technology amazing?
It is.
And I'm so bad at it. Anything that plugs into a wall or runs on battery, somehow I ruin. I don't even know how this is all happening. I don't even know how, but somehow it's happening. So I'm just glad. I'm just glad that it's going off without a hitch.
Talk about what it's like. You used to be a gym owner out of Chicago. Talk about it's like to be one, but also to give up your baby and still train your clients, because that's not easy, but also it's kind of be a relief in a way, right?
Well, sure. When I was first approached with someone to buy my gym, my response was, it's not for sale. What are you talking about? And then I slept on it, and I came back to the person who suggested it, and I said, everything's for sale. Everything has a price. What did you have in mind? And so we started talking about it, and it was a very long process. It was a very long process for us to agree on anything. And
too, wasn't it?
Say again?
And stressful too, wasn't it?
Extremely stressful. And it just so happened that it hit at a really tough time in my world. And so things were already very stressful in my personal life. And then when this hit, it just added a lot more stress, and, the time constraints and everything had to be done right now. And it was very, very stressful. I thank God that I had my kids helping me run the gym at the time, and my employees, because they really just filled in when I needed them most. And so that place would never have been able to stay above water if it weren't for my support system. Honestly, it was great. But yeah, you mentioned that you called it my baby, and yeah, it was my baby. I had that gym for about 8 years. And so selling it, big relief, but at the same time, when you're still a big part of it, I'm still a part of the gym. I still train my clients there. So it's hard sometimes for me to not want to step in and make changes when I see things changing to accommodate the new realm of what we have going on there. It's hard for me to see the change, and it's even more difficult for my clients to see the change. I've lost a lot of clients for this move, and it's been a little difficult, but I'm trying to adapt, and I'm trying to encourage my clients to adapt. Nobody likes change, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just different. That's all.
And that's the whole thing. We're in a new world now where you have to adapt, you have to change, and you have to be flexible. And if you can't do those three
Yeah.
things, you're not going to make it. I'm just telling you, you're
Yes.
not going to make it.
100%. 100%. You know, we talked yesterday, you and I talked on the phone for a couple minutes, and
2 minutes because she was that busy.
yeah, I picked up the phone. I have a few minutes. What do you need?
She warns
Not
me
even
in advance,
hello.
which is good.
No hellos anymore. You know, you just, you know, we're constantly having to reinvent ourselves. Everybody is. Let's be
Absolutely.
honest. You know, even if you're in a position, I have a very good friend of mine in the wealth management industry right now. And with things going so difficult for everybody, I mean, businesses are shut down. People are losing their jobs. They're depending on being able to qualify for unemployment. Some will, some won't. And so I talked to him today for a few minutes, and he's nervous. He's nervous about what's to come. Nobody wants to invest money right now. They're dumb if they pull their money out, is what everyone's thinking. But people are wanting to pull their money out and keep it under their mattress where it's safe right now. And back in the day, that's how we would do it. So it's a very, very scary world right now. And so you almost have to get the idea of you're going to have to reinvent yourself. There are certain points in time where we just have to do that.
How are you holding up when it
So how
comes
do
to
you,
being in the world of fitness? How are you doing that as far as your meal prep, as far as you working out? What are you doing and what are you telling your clients?
well, what I'm doing is, you know, I'm not perfect every single day, but I will tell you the days that I'm not perfect, those are my worst days. My attitude is bad. I feel terrible physically, mentally, and emotionally. Those are my worst days when I'm off track. If I can stay on track and if I stick to a nice schedule, get up in the morning, take a shower, work out, take another shower, put my makeup on, get something accomplished. If I can actually accomplish something every day and I can actually wake up and eat clean and do all the things that I'm supposed to, that I normally do on a regular basis, I have a great day. Even though things are grim, even though I don't have clients to train right now, so my revenue source is gone, even though those things are happening, I can still have a very good positive day. And then I can redirect my energy. I can reinvent myself. Okay, how can I train? I'm now training people online more than before. I'm now training people via Skype, which is kind of online, but different, not so much email, but more face-to-face. I'm now on Fit.live again, which is a great platform, and I'm training there. I have met clients outside to train, 6 feet apart, outside on a beautiful day. There are things to do in the park, for instance, using benches, trees, and so forth, bands, ropes. So reinventing myself completely. I didn't used to do it this way.
Well, how do you do this? Because in Vegas, and I've been in Vegas and in Los Angeles, so I'll take sometimes I won't drive, I'll take my Segway Lumo with me, and then I'll get off. If I take the mega bus down, I'll go at like 1 in the morning, and there may be like 17 people on the bus because I can't fly with it because it's AI technology. But as soon as I get out of Union Station, I'm on my Segway, I'm on the Segway with it, and I'm zooming all around Los Angeles. I can get a lot of places on a Segway, so I'm training my core muscles, if that makes sense, because you have to stand straight and you're adjusting
Yes.
knees and everything. How are
Right.
you able to do stuff? Because I've seen a lot of people, whether it's in Vegas and Los Angeles, training out in the park now, where they're actually bringing their weights, which I think is pretty cool. And I've seen more women doing it, which I really like.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm fortunate enough to have collected some small apparatus over the years that I have at home. I never wanted a home gym. I don't work well at home. I am
Right.
better in the gym. I need the atmosphere. I want the better machines. I want to get away from my house. If I'm in my house, I'm going to stop in between a set of 15 and I'm going to go do the dishes, or I'm going to go throw the laundry in the dryer. So I am not a good workout at home kind of person. I'm having to set an appointment for myself on my calendar to make sure that I do it. Now that the weather is changing a little bit in Chicago and it's getting a little bit nicer, I have a couple times gone outside with my clients and worked out there. Again, using the bands and some small dumbbells and so forth that I can travel with.
Did you go on a bike ride yesterday, or was that a couple of days ago?
Yeah, yesterday.
See, I'm paying attention to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Talk about
Yeah,
what
that
was
was
it like to
yesterday.
go and take that bike ride. Where did you go, and how far did you go?
So I live in a neighborhood where it's about 2.5 miles to this reservoir where there's a lake, a big, and a big path around it. So rode the bike to the reservoir, around and back. And it's probably, my gosh, 1, 2, 3, probably about 6, 7 miles only. But, there's no reason why I can't do that twice. There are plenty of places to find a right, beautiful scenery. I mentioned today on my Fit.live broadcast, I'm looking outside while I was doing my workout. I was looking outside the window and I say, here in Chicago, it's chilly outside, but the sun is shining. The trees have no leaves on them right now, but there are blue jays flying through my yard. There are cardinals flying through my yard. There are squirrels congregating. There's life out there. So maybe now's a really good time to appreciate nature. Good time to appreciate, what we have that we rarely pay attention to because we're so busy coming and going all the time.
What's funny about that is that if you notice and you are paying attention, like what you just said, the animals are coming out. They're noticing humans come. When you got coyotes walking down the middle of the street,
Yes.
in Los Angeles, or even in Vegas in the middle of the day, what does that tell you?
There was a fox down the street from my house that was just standing on the side of the road. And it took me a while to figure out what it actually was. I almost got into a car accident because I tried to get my phone out to take a picture. I came to a complete stop in the street, but then realized somebody was coming, so I had to go. But I could not believe this beautiful red fox just standing on the side of the road, watching cars go by. It was crazy.
That's the whole thing. Talk about this, because people who go to the gym all the time, and I would always tease my, co-host Terry Marie, who you met, and Brett Bauer, who you met. What happens when you guys can't go to the gym? How are you going to adapt? I've been teasing them for years because most people go to the gym, they have to go outside their house. They go to the gym to get away. How are they adapting, and what have you been talking to?
Well, first of all, at the gym, there are pieces of equipment that most people just don't have at home. I'm huge with leg day. So I want my hack squat. I want my super squat. I want my seated leg press. I want my Smith rack. All these things that I want. And so those are pieces of equipment that you just can't mimic at home. And it doesn't matter what kind of social media influencer you are in the fitness industry, in the wellness industry. I don't care who you are. You're not going to mimic a super squat. Not with a band, not with a bar, not with anything. It's just not going to happen. Nice try. But we do the best we can. We're just trying to modify. I'm trying to put it in my head. What happens when we change up our routine every now and again? We benefit different things. So right now we're using bands and we're using our own body weight and we're, calisthenics and so forth. So the benefit of that is we're going to be working some other areas of our body. We're going to, strengthen some of maybe our small stabilizers and so forth. And then when we go back to the gym and we hit it, even one workout, we're probably going to be crippled. We're probably going to be so sore, but it's going to feel so good to do it again. And we're going to love it. Us crazy gym people who love being sore, it's going to be like heaven for us to go back.
Talk about this. This is not easy, actually. What is it like when you can't go to the movies? See, I'm used to doing all this stuff like this. I've been prepared for this for years. So the reason I come to Vegas is I can work out of the house. I'm by myself. I can get all my stuff done. And then and when I leave, I go to events. And then when I come back, I'm sequestered. It could be for like a month and a half. Now everybody's sequestered. They're not used to it. So you got to do that routine. You got to get up. You got to take a shower. If you're a woman, you got to put that makeup on because you can get distracted from everything in the house. This is to say, can you really work at home? A lot of people can't work at home because now they got the kids. Now school is canceled.
I know.
Imagine that. They're going nuts. And where do they want to go? They want to go to the gym. They want to go watch a baseball game, and they can't do it. They're going nuts.
Yep. Netflix and Amazon Prime movies. And oh my gosh, I don't even know the names of them, but I'm in the middle of 4 different Netflix series right now. The thing is though, I have found myself to be so busy because I'm reinventing myself. I have
Absolutely.
for myself to be so busy. I'm busier now, I think, than I was when I was training clients.
You are, because you learn to adapt, because
Yes.
you're going on to a new stage in your life. So good for you, Linda. And that's why I wanted to do this interview, because we have to help encourage other people, because other people are running around with their heads chopped off. I've been checking
Yeah.
with my friends around the world, a lot of my CEO friends, and they're panicking. And I'm like, you know what? I'm recession proof. I'm stock proof. So I don't have to worry about that stuff. I set movie reviews and more up for that. The more part was always going to be more important than the movie reviews, because every single business has changed around the world. And again, it goes back to, unless you can adapt and adjust and reinvent yourself, it's not going to work and you're not going to make it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what another thing that I have done, and everybody has noticed, I actually have a bigger online presence. You know, when I'm running the gym and I'm training clients every hour on the hour, from early in the morning till sometimes, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, I just don't have time to be interacting online. I just don't have time to be posting. But now that I have the time, I'm actually posting things, which is great. I should have been doing this years ago, to be honest with you, but there just aren't enough hours in the day.
But here's the thing about that is, yes, we should have been doing that, but it's hard to do that because we couldn't do it at the same time. And I watched how you guys in the gym would always do it. Say, I was more like a CrossFit team. I'll work out and do sit-ups and push-ups while I'm watching a movie, because I'm watching a lot of bad films that I have to choose for film festivals. By the way, film festivals are dead. And I told people that last year. Nobody believed me, because look what's going on. And then talking about Netflix, so The Witcher, movie Quincy, Tiger King, which everybody's starting to watch now. You're laughing. Did you watch it already?
It's like a train wreck, but you can't stop watching it. You can't stop. I'm embarrassed to say I'm like this on the TV.
Now, here's the thing. I haven't met him, but I met the guy from Georgia who's got the wives. I met him. I won't tell you where I met him and the entourage, but I met him.
We'll talk offline.
Yes, exactly. But it's one of those things where, yes, I have to always do this, because it's all movie reviews and more. I have to always tell people what to watch, and I've got to give them good movies. So when it comes to like Dirty Money is actually a great series to watch.
Okay.
In case you haven't watched it. The Kingdom, if you really want that, martial arts and zombies. That's really good, but there are some really good stuff out there. Self-Made, about the first African-American woman, Madam C.J. Walker, who ended up creating the first black hair product. She became the first woman in the United States to become a millionaire, and she happened to be black.
No kidding.
Yep.
That's amazing.
It's called Self-Made. You get a chance to see it. It's on Netflix.
Yeah. Okay.
So you always tell your fans that. But the other thing about what you were just saying about that is, you haven't lost your fan base. You've increased your fan base. Not a lot of people can say that, Linda.
You know what? It's just because I'm able to interact now, and I have always loved my fans.
But you're doing it anyhow. You were doing it when you were driving, which is hilarious to me. But when it's good, you'd be like this. You're talking, oh, I can see so-and-so, so how you do it? I don't know how you do it, but you're good at doing it.
Well, and you know what was bad that day, that recently when I went live while I was driving, I had this great device. Now I have to pick up a new one, but it attaches to your window or whatever, and then it clips onto your phone clips onto it, or it hugs your phone. Well, while I was trying to adjust it, I broke the piece off. So I was like, oh, brother. So here I am holding my phone. I always drive with one hand anyway, but still, I mean.
Hey, it's called adjusting and adapting. We have to do all these things done, because now you can't go to the store and get a new one. Now, if I have one, I think I have an extra one, I'll send it to you.
Okay. I still owe you a Blackhawks cup too. Last cup I bought you was Starbucks, but it needed to be Blackhawks. I just didn't plan ahead, but you'll get one.
So how are you going shopping these days? What is that like for you? Do you have to go put a mask on? Oh, I can see the face on you already.
Well, this is the thing. Just today, I read that we are being ordered to wear face masks.
Right.
And so one of my clients who's been making them for hospitals, she is bringing one to me tomorrow.
Good for you.
So I will be wearing a face mask. Now, when I've gone to the grocery store prior to this, I have gloves on or wipes in between my hands and the cart, and I wipe everything. I'm a germaphobe before this. One of my best friend said to me, I feel like you've been preparing for this moment your whole life. My house smells like bleach no matter what, even before this virus came around, because I just get crazy with germs. So I've always been this way. I've always wiped down the whole cart before I even, touch it anyway. So I'm really just doing that. Like I said, using gloves, making sure I take them off before I go into my wallet for my card. There are things that you have to really make conscious decisions about when you're trying to avoid germs.
So you got to take a picture, because it's always great seeing pictures of you when you're going to dinner, when you're going to the movies that you can't go to now. I picked in Chicago, which is your favorite place to go. You can't go to now. And I'll tell you about that stuff later. Also, when you're going shopping, I can imagine how you're going to take a selfie now. How do you see the new Linda Steele when she goes shopping?
All I have to do is make sure my eye makeup is on. Just make sure I have my eyelashes on and I'm good, right?
Hey, so remember the Elliptical hand sanitizer I told you about? There's a reason I had it for 4 years. Oh, because the Elliptical is the only one that says it kills 99.99% of germs. This guy's going to go gangbusters. Oh, and remember the Restroom Kit, Linda? The ones that I gave you?
Yes.
It's handy, doesn't it?
Sure did. I used it the other day. I had it with me.
I'm going to put you in contact with Bill Mazie, Jimmy Adams, and his wife out of Maryland, and they'll make sure that they send you a whole supply because you need them. But here's the thing. You should have been using them in the gyms anyhow, them and Elliptical, because what? We all need them, right?
Right. The gym wipes, I always had gym wipes. I can't remember the brand. I think it was actually Gym Wipe brand. And so always have I used those in the gym. And
by the way, the reason on this is because Bill and Sonia Mazie with Jimmy Adams and their crew out of Maryland, not only for catastrophes they're good, but also when you go to the arenas and stuff like that. But guess what they're really good for now? These things now. So go to the restroomkit.com. Let's talk about some of your fans and stuff like that. What is it like? Who's been logging on to you right now?
Who's logging on right now? Let's see. I have on, and I have to go sideways here, on I really can't see the lights behind it. Let me see. EDME. You know how everyone's like names are so odd? It's so hard to see who's who. But somebody just joined with EDMZ on Facebook. I have Russ Ostenkowski, Steve Baxley. Let me see. Russ wants to know how I've been. Too bad hockey got canceled. Yes, absolutely. Steve Baxley says most of the sports have been canceled. Yep, or postponed. Absolutely. We've figured that out, and it's not been cool. We have Dijon on Twitter also, who's making a comment. Let's see. Todd Davalos. Hi from Pacific Grove, California. Yep. So we have people on still, and I'm really glad for that because I haven't really been paying much attention to what's going on there because you and I are having this interview. But I thought it would be fun for everyone to kind of see what goes on during these interviews because usually we do these interviews face to face and we're both on the same.
That's what I miss. I like having people in the studio with me doing it. Now I have a different way to do it. I'm still going to be able to do it because I had already adjusted a year in advance ago. So I can still have everybody. I'm going to have it set it up like a beauty lounge, cute beauty.
Nice.
Stuff where there's a lot of women's stuff there because you're gonna get some of this stuff. So I've been quiet. I've been working on the stuff. You never see me do this because I have a couple studios set up across country, and I could still utilize them because I had already set it up in advance. So I'm good. Like I said, I'm recession proof. I'm stock proof, and I don't have to worry about it. But also, these are the different times. So what we're here to do is help educate people and help get them through these tough times, right?
For sure. For sure. People are coming to me anyway, people count on people like me for certain things. I used to have clients come to me for accountability, discipline, knowledge. Now there are people coming to me for different reasons. They want motivation in their life and for different reasons. They're so down and out. They want inspiration. They want guidance. They want good news. They want, lack of motivation. There are all kinds of things that have changed. So I'm having to make some changes to accommodate these people. But yeah, we're trying to get through this as best we can.
Talk about different social media links that you have because you also are on Twitch and you got a big gaming site. And I got some game things coming up that you're in mine on my end for, so watch and see what I come up with.
Great. So I used to, when I was on Fit.live, the last time around, I was on Twitch. I also was on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook. I have 2 different Facebook pages. One of them is my personal Facebook page where you'll find my aunts and uncles and mom and cousins and so forth. But then I have my fan page along with my gym page. And then I have Twitter, and I have Instagram, Tumblr. My gosh, and now it's like people are doing the stories on Facebook and the stories on Instagram. When does it end? Somebody asked me the other day, do you have Snapchat? I was like, oh, brother, how many ways do I have to communicate with people?
No,
Holy
so
cow.
Linda, you're the only one that I know that's got a big, huge following on all the platforms. Say, I wasn't going to do Tumblr and I wasn't going to do Snapchat. I'm barely doing TikTok because I don't like this to have stolen data collected. I hate that. Hate that. And I've got a blockchain phone coming from Australia. I can't wait to utilize that. They can't be hacked. Wow. But also protects your privacy, which I really like to have.
Great. Yeah, I like to have that too. I'm a pretty private person, which is crazy because I'm all out there on social media. But I do the best I can trying to protect my personal life. The best I can. Anyway.
What are you going to have for dinner tonight? What are you going to make?
You know what? Tonight I'm having a friend come and spend the night she is a younger girl, and she has been secluded for over 14 days now with school being closed. And all she wants to do is come spend time with me at my house with my puppy. So I'm going to let her come. She knows that she can't touch me. She knows we're still going to be 6 feet apart. So I asked her for a grocery list, and she came up with apples, peanut butter, and pickles. So I'm going to have to come up with something really fun for dinner because I'm not sure that I can actually make a meal out of that. I always go to my chicken. I'm probably going to have chicken, quinoa, and I have broccoli already made in the fridge. That's probably what I'm going to go with.
Can people still get your meal prep, and how have you adapted it now?
Yes. So I don't do meal prep myself. And I do my own meal prep for myself, but I don't do meal prep for other people. So, I'm still trying to guide people and just remind them, this is your time to shine. This is your time to learn how to get a list together of what you want to make for yourself, how to then put it together into a grocery list, to execute it, go to the store, bring it home and cook it, and then put it in containers. So this is really a good time for clients to actually make good use of this time to pick up some good habits. And this is what I'm hoping that they're going to do.
What shoes are you wearing right now?
Oh, I have gym shoes on because I did my broadcast today.
They're still classy.
And I don't even like to wear shoes in the house. It's just that since the broadcast, I've been running and doing so many things and answering some emails and just trying to get caught up with some things that I haven't been able to take my shoes off. So that's why they're still on.
Are you getting caught up in a way though? You think?
In a way, yes. I feel like I finally had to get the idea in my head that you're never caught up.
Yeah.
Things are fluid. Yep. And so I made myself crazy almost every day of my life because I felt like I was never getting anywhere. But that's how life works. Life is fluid. You're going to answer an email and think, oh, that's done. But another email is going to come in. Yep. If you could just kind of set your mind to that, things are going to be busy. You're going to have stuff to do every day as long as you want it. Then you just have to go with it.
So you, myself, and like 4 other people are the only ones out of everybody I know around the world, the only ones that are busy because they weren't prepared. They were kind of caught with their pants down.
Right.
And you just have to always be able to, again, going back to adjusting, adapting, and, being flexible. That's just where we are. Give your websites.
My websites. Right now, I am Linda Steele, hotbod.com. And right now, I don't even want to give the other one yet because it is still in the middle of being done right now. But it's going to be
So Linda, we got a couple more minutes. What's a couple questions that a couple of your fans might have been asking you? Oh, we lost.
Again, I was invited to do this interview on Saturday with the Best You. And so I'll be on their Facebook doing an interview with them.
Good. So we got a couple more minutes. What's a couple questions that your fans may have for you?
The fans are asking, anyway, I'm gonna direct this one to my fans.
Yep.
Fans ask, oh, you are still there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I can't see you. I can see a still shot of you, but I can't see you.
I'll bring it back in a minute.
Okay, so meanwhile, let me just mention this. On Twitter, I have people here from Croatia, and wow. I have Rick Carbonara. Hi. The exercise isn't, he says, exercise isn't for me. Rick, you had to change your mindset, dude. We're trying to live longer and feel good. Come on, man. Rob Kirksey says hi. Steve Baxley says, when all this is over, I am going on a hugging spree, Linda, and I'm at the top of his list. Isn't that awesome?
That's good.
Yeah, this is great. So what my fans are asking me is, what do we do to not feel like such a slug every day? And these are the things there. I can give you the top 5 things that I'm doing. And the first one is I'm setting my alarm, and I'm not getting on a bad schedule of going to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning and sleeping until noon. I'm not doing that. I'm still going to bed at a decent hour, and I'm still setting my alarm. Well, I have a dog, so I don't really have to set an alarm because she's my alarm. But I'm still getting up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning and starting my day. And I make sure that I shower every day, and I make sure that I am putting my makeup on every day. And one of the best things that I love is that I mentioned earlier is make sure that you accomplish something. Accomplish one thing every day. And so what I've done is the night before I go to bed, I write something down that I want to get done. Now, my list. I write 10 things down that I want to get done, but I make sure that I get at least one of them done. And so when I wake up in the morning, I feel like I have a purpose. If you don't make yourself feel like you have a purpose, and I don't care if you put on your list, I need to clean out my sock drawer. Clean out your sock drawer. Put it on your list. Have a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Have a reason to shower. Have a reason to put your makeup on if you choose to do so. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. Make sure that you're sticking to a plan and feeling some type of accomplishment. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm eating clean still. I have bad days. I'm not perfect. But for the most part, I'm making sure that I have my NutriBullet every day with my spinach, my carrots, my apples, all the things that I know are good for me. I know that I have to have. So eat clean for sure. That's huge. Especially now, everybody has time to plan ahead. You could do this. This is not difficult. Another thing that I want to mention is I know Rick said exercise is not for me. That's okay, Rick. It's not for everybody, but you still need to move around. A lot of times we're working from home, we put the TV on and we lay on the couch. Well, yeah, we're going to feel like a slug.
I can't do that. For Rick purposes, I can understand what he's saying, but as long as you can stretch out, this is a great time to do something different. Try doing some sit-ups while you're watching a movie. Some, when you're in the chair, do some dips. That's how I get through these movies.
Yes, I know you have to move around. You're watching movies, Brian. You said sometimes 6-9 hours at a time. Oh, that's your job.
I'm watching on my other laptop because I've got 3 laptops going. You just can't see them. I'm watching wrestling right now because I need to know how WrestleMania is going to be going without an audience. Because here's the thing that's going to happen. This is going to go on until mid-September. September 16th, my date that I called. And the reason I know this is because of how everything's being canceled. Wimbledon was canceled yesterday. So this is the summer of nothing. That's what I'm calling it. But the summer of creating a new you. If you can do it, you have to do it, or else you're going to be crap out of luck.
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, you're going to fall behind. You can't afford to fall behind because 6 million people as of today file for unemployment. That's not good. It's going to be worse than that.
Yep. I've always said if you're not moving ahead, you're falling behind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just as busy as I was before. And just like you were saying, you think you're going to get caught up, but there's still more emails coming through. They haven't stopped.
No.
The new way, and people have to understand this, telecommunications with these devices is the new way of communicating.
Yes.
Virus, you have to learn to live with the virus now. This is not the only one. There's going to be more coming down the pipeline. So you got to be able to adapt with it.
Yeah, for sure. If people are bored out there, there are so many things you could do to volunteer your time. By the way, there are people driving for Uber Eats and so forth, but there are places like nursing homes and retirement homes where people cannot go shopping for themselves, and maybe they can't afford delivery fees. So, maybe you can call a retirement home and say, look, I have some free time. I'm home. Maybe you can do their shopping for them if you're going to the grocery store anyway and drop off. When I drop off my mom's groceries, I hand the bags to her with my gloves on or with a wipe, a Clorox wipe in between me and the bag. And we talk to each other through a door. So I hand her building. But there, you guys can maybe do some of those things. It might make you feel like you're, needed and wanted, and it'll feel good to maybe volunteer. But of course, you just have to be really safe about it. Wear the masks, do all the things that the government is recommending you do, whether you believe it or not, whether you think it's a hoax or not, whatever the case may be. I just hate to see that we find out later that we were wrong. It does seem unbelievable. It really does. But wouldn't we hate to find out later that oops, they were right and we were wrong, and here we are screwing around, right?
Linda, last question for you. What's the advice that you can get to people that you might not be able to see, that you might not be able to touch? What do you say to them?
Hang in there. Don't lose faith. Do what you need to do to keep your spirits high. And I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. You got to do it in your own home. And you have to learn how to adapt, and you have to learn how to adjust, because this is the world we live in right now in this current situation.
Linda, I want to thank you. This is a fun time to actually do this like this. We will get together. I have something being set up in Chicago, believe it or not. So you're the number one person when it comes to that. So when the time is right, we'll be able to do it. Give your website one more time.
LindaSteeleHotBod.com, but watch, because there's a really good fitness one coming up, and you guys are going to love it. It's months.
All right. Thank you for that. We will talk soon. This is Brian Sebastian, Movie Reviews and More, iTube 247, Worldwide TV Network. We will talk to you we're going to talk to you pretty soon now, because this is the way it's going to be for a little bit. See you later.
Absolutely. All right. Bye, Brian.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Talk to you soon with the new stuff I have coming up for you.
I can't wait. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.